inside. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
What's up, Slash All? I ran into a little bit of technical issues, but we are back here. We have the draft going for Game 1 from InfernoWolf eSports, Tom Kench's Line Chefs. Choosing red side this game, so to kind of briefly go over the draft real fast. For Inferno, banning Graves, Aphelios, Nocturne. For Tom Kench's, they banned Braum, Poppy, and Aatrox. And then the Prio perks for Inferno, they're taking the Renekton first round, which is interesting, and then we see the Senna pick as well. So I got Nefairs with me tonight, so you want to Give me some insight to this draft.
All right, real quick. Am I watching this stream or are you going to stream it on Discord?
Oh, I will stream it on Discord. I'm all over the
Good.
place.
I was going to say, because I can't see none. So, looking at it, based on the teams, because I am looking at the stream on the Switch right now, they've got some assassination potential on Tom Kench's. They've got the tricky Nico. They've got Kaisa follow-up. They have a pretty bulky front line on Team Inferno eSports with the Maokai and Renekton. They have dive potential with Renekton and Kaisa. And then Tom Kench's they don't really have a bulky front line. They have Shen. It looks like, so something that's kind of cheeky is that there was a combo that was found out relatively recently. And so, in the game, when you're playing, let's say, an enchanter, and you want to use an ability on a certain ally, you can hover your mouse over your ally portrait above the minimap.
Yes.
Xerath can use his ultimate in the same way. So if Kayn uses his ultimate on someone, and then Xerath just spams R on Kayn's portrait, it is dead center every single time, unable to miss unless they dash or flash out of it.
That is sick. I did see a video on that, so I'm excited to see if these players are able to utilize that. So
it is pretty cheeky. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna do it, but it's pretty spicy. Looking at the drafts once again, there's a lot of bulk on the front line of Team Inferno, and then there's some assassination, some pick potential with Blitzcrank Tristana style stuff, or if Kayn runs over a wall with Shen ulting him. That's also fairly decent. Looking at the teams, though, it seems like blue team likely just has the better draft, or maybe not necessarily the better draft, but the easier draft to actually execute. Because the red team has some poke, they've got Blitzcrank hook for some picks, and then otherwise they just have to kind of run at them. Blue team all have the ability to play around their two frontliners, or Maokai flashing in, Nico setting something up. And then the bot laners are both quite ranged, so you can poke with Kaisa, you can kind of get some poke with Senna, you can get engaged with Senna E, kind of. So I think for the most part, it's fairly even, but blue team has an easier time just kind of executing what they're wanting to do. But on the flip side, if they're looking for a pick, the Shen can always be problematic. The Xerath ulti from downtown can always, throw a wrench in their plan. The safety from Tristana jump out. There's a lot going for both teams, so I think it'll be pretty entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. InfernoWolves, they have the reliable engage for sure. With the Maokai ult and the Nico ult, they're going to be able to engage very easily. Definitely have the easier comp to execute, but Tom Kench's line chefs, they have the more annoying comp. With the Blitzcrank, you're going to have to have proper vision. They've got some squishy members that can be susceptible and instantly be bursted down by the Kench's line chefs, and then the Shen as well. They can maybe bait InfernoWolves into some fights that they shouldn't necessarily be taking. And then I would assume that the focus is going to be around bot lane. I would not be surprised if Kayn clears top to bot, and then they're just probably going to look to dive bot on repeat. I think that's how they win this game.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Nico roams, or cheeky minion plays here and there, maybe walking into lane as a blue buff or something. But I think so. Looking at laning phase of these two teams, Kaisa Senna is fairly safe because of their range and heal ability, but they also have a pretty big ability to poke the opponents. Meanwhile, Blitzcrank Tristana is definitely a kill lane, just absolutely. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a very what's the word I'm looking for? Not brutal, but it's gonna be explosive.
Yeah.
Mid lane, Nico Xerath is kind of even. Nico loses out a bit because of the fact that Xerath can simply outrange her, but Nico can clear the wave incredibly quick. So I think it's going to be probably relatively neutral in the mid lane. Whoever gets prio can kind of just dip and then do their own thing. I don't think too much is going to happen there unless they decide to leave lane, or if maybe a mistake happens here or there. Top lane is, I mean, Renekton's kind of insane with his damage output, but if the Shen plays it well, he can always use his W to block the entirety of Renekton's W because of the fact that it counts as auto attacks. So I think he might still get stunned, but he won't take any of the damage. So I think there's definitely potential for action top lane, more so on blue team. A lot of potential for action bot lane. And then, as you said, I think it's definitely likely that both junglers will start topside and path down to bot lane, just how potent that could be. Because if either side gets the lead, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to come back from.
Yeah. With that being said, we're finishing up the last few minutes of our spectator delay. We're gonna throw it over to our hype video. But if you look in the Twitch chat, some people have been spamming it. I made some emotes for these two teams, so drop the emotes. Unfortunately, they're only well, fortunately for us, I guess unfortunately for you, they're only subscriber only emotes. But anybody who has access to those, drop which team you think is gonna pick up this first game in this very important matchup in the Twitch chat with that. So with that, let's throw it over to the video and we'll catch you guys on the Summoner's Rift. Alright, we are loaded onto the Rift. So one thing we didn't have time to mention because of some technical difficulties for this match, there's a lot hanging on this match for these two teams. This is the competition for that last playoff spot. As we see, yeah, Tom Kench's line chefs look to stack here, and we see a deep bush stack, but I think even if they walk in there, they have level 1, so we'll see what happens here. We have a little bit of explosiveness in this high priority match.
Incredibly smart from blue team, knowing that Blitzcranks always love to invade. So stacking here is really, really good.
This is a bush, though. I think Blitz would blind hook into, but they're going to call it off, call it safe, so they're not going to run into trouble here. Thank goodness. For them.
Could have been pretty bloody level 1, that's for darn sure. Huh.
There is a nice ward in there for the line chefs on the Raptors, so they're going to be able to track the jungle a little bit there once they see Tom Kent or sorry Tom Kench. Maokai hasn't taken those Raptors in a while. They're going to get a little bit of a clue to where he's at, so a good little bit of vision dropped in there.
As you can see, both junglers are starting top lane as we kind of expected them to path down towards the bottom side of the map. But looks like some cheese going down in the bush down here.
We'll see what happens. Dayton's a little bit out there. There's the grenade there from Arjester. The Blitz Hook misses, but he's still in trouble here. The heal comes out for Arjester. The Ignite downs on Sedaten. First Blood goes over to Senna, so Sedaten's going to pick up First Blood, and Arjester's going to trade that back. But the problem is the ADC is dead for TLC, while the ADC lives for InfernoWolf, so they definitely went out on that trade.
Wow, I'm genuinely shocked that after the Blitzcrank hook missed, and the fact that Tristana doesn't have Hail of Blades, they still won that so, I mean...
with the minion damage as well.
So much. Wow. Wow. That was kind of a little scuffed, but, I mean, it... as you said, they got First Blood, so it's going to be a little bit better for Red Team. Even though Tristana died, and it's going to be behind on XP here for sure, the fact that Tristana got an additional item, if she can keep Kai'Sa in lane here for an extended period of time, that will transfer over towards somewhat of a lead due to the fact that Kai'Sa isn't able to back and buy an item. But it looks like based on the lane, she's going to probably get a recall. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's action every lane.
Every lane, yeah. I would say top lane. So this is perfect scenario for line for the line chefs for Shen to win this in isolation. The flash forward by Sinja and the flash away from Chronomist. Nothing's going to happen here. Misses the abilities by Sinja, and neither champion has Ignite. This is a big wave for Chrono. He needs to be careful here. He's going to get dove. We'll see if he can trade it back. But he's going to be able to walk to safety. Has the teleport. Going to be able to farm this wave up. It looks like Sinja's going to respect it.
Even though it was a trade of flashes there, that is much worse for Chronomist because of the fact that he is... Although they're both immobile mages, Sinja has the ability to toss out that clone and get a little movement speed, plus with like a fadeaway E. Ooh, and tries for some cheeky minion gameplay right there. But
Maokai's the first down to this bot lane here. He's going to be out of vision. Summoners are down. Arjester's going to be able to jump away. Blitzcrank's there, misses the hook. They're going to be able to get to safety. Chrono's in trouble here. Low mana, but Fish is going to be able to pick this up. No flash on the Nico. I'm going to assume Fish is... But no, Sinja jukes him out. He goes after the wrong clone. So disaster for the line chefs here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, though, Darkness being able to withstand these early levels of Renekton, get the first wave crash in. Once he's able to farm up these minions, he should... Those grass procs.
Actually trades into a huge minion wave, but with the grass proc, he's able to come out at least even on that trade, but holy moly. So, I mean, there's been action on every single lane. Top lane's been a little more passive because of the double Doran's shield, and as we said, it's kind of hard to fully kill him, but both mid laners flashes. We got flash down bottom, we got kills, we got cheese, we got everything going on.
And we'll see if Sedaten's caught out a little bit here. The Blitz Hook lands and Arjester's in. He's going to have the flash wave from Sedaten, the Ignite as well. Arjester can spec that in. Up, jump in for the second kill. Ronnie flashes out, gets to safety. But that's huge for Arjester.
If you look at it right now, if you look at the items from Tristana and Kai'Sa, even though Kai'Sa has, more CS and whatnot.
Flash forward by Darkness and Fish. Flash away from King Kabali. He's going to live as Sinja's roaming up on the Nico as well. I think everyone's going to get out. A great hook by Bredicus to pick off Running World, and he's going to deny 2 waves here.
Incredibly greedy for Kai'Sa to stay. I mean, it's frustrating to lose that much CS down there, and you want to pick up the experience, but the fact that he dies there as well is just giving over so much more. And as I was saying, Kai'Sa was only sitting on a Doran's Blade, so on that last pick on top of it, she still hadn't recalled. So she was sitting on a fair chunk of change. Meanwhile, Tristana had the entire Noon Quiver. So it's, even though she's down on CS, she's denied a lot as well, and is definitely ahead on gold.
Yeah, for sure. Incredible bounce back for the bot lane there. As we said, there was an XP difference, but those 2 denied waves are going to even that out. So... and just great prowess there for Bredicus to hook that under tower and be able to deny so much.
So looking into the state of the game, mid lane is down on CS in the red team. Top lane is down on CS on the red team. Bot lane is down on CS on the red team. So as long as nothing else happens for the rest of the game, blue team seems to just be able to, get a lead via just CS alone. Top lane's got a freeze going on. Both of the other lanes.
No flashes here on either bot lane. We'll see if Redicus can land the hook, and he yet again lands. And that's going to be great. Continuing to use this support pick. Going to feel very nice. Sinja gets the Electrocute proc. Going to take Chrono really low. I think I'd like to see him just back up here and ult the wave, honestly, because I think he's going to die. Yep.
Oh.
Sinja gets the Pop Blossom and is going to take down Chrono.
Man, oh man. And even though Xerath has a little more range, just the damage and poke from the Nico seems to be definitely overpowering. And
For sure.
with the bottom lane winning from the red team, that means full access to dragons the entire time. And if they want to, they can also roam up to the Rift Herald in 45 seconds when it comes up.
Yeah, should be able to get the Prow here for both summoners. Darkness is going to be able to pop that auto-canceling ability. Fish is kind of low. There's the ult by Sinja, but it's not going to catch anybody. Arjester's free-firing onto Sinja. Sinja's going to be the first to drop. Sedaten is about half health, and Chrono is providing the fire on.
Oh, he jumps in.
He jumps in trying to get the reset. He's not going to get it. Bredicus is following up. Fish is here. Chrono has arrived. They may look to turn this fight as Chrono has come from base. He gets the first pick on King Kabbalah, and the second should fall here on Sedaten. A double kill for Chronomus, and they're going to be able to pick up the dragon as well.
God, that was a big play, and then it became a big mistake from Arjester, and then they were able to clean it up and still come out on top with Chronomist's return kills there on and both of them went on. Actually, all three of them went on to carries. So Tristana got the shutdown on the Nico, which is pretty huge, and then the Xerath, who's been behind at the start of this game, got a double kill. So good gold income on the pockets of the carries there. Thankfully, the Blitzcrank didn't end up taking it, even though it was a real juicy kill that he could have autoed right there.
Darkness going in to trade a little bit here. He's trying to get this wave crashed. Majuka's going to trade back. We'll see if anything further goes. Chrono looks like he might have a little bit of lapse of judgment there. I don't know if Sinja was a minion and he just didn't see him. Be able to get this wave crashed in and get it back. He hasn't spent his gold from that dragon fight, so he's sitting on about 1,300. Darkness just doing a good job withstanding this, and if it gets to the late game, Arjester does a ton of damage right now with the flash forward by Sinja onto Chrono. He's going to be able to shut Chronomus down, and meanwhile they're not able to pick up the bot lane kill. We'll see if they look for a dive here, though. Sedaten is super low. Blitzcrank has flash as well.
Sorry. It's insanity the fact that both junglers are topside, and yet mid and bottom are the ones with action going on right now.
For sure. The Rift Herald's being looked at for InfernoWolves. We'll see if they're able to pick this up early. But meanwhile, that gives Bredicus and Arjester down here free range, knowing all the attention is top to continue to push this lead. Barely misses the hook. And Arjester's just going to go in here. He's going to flash forward, be able to pick up the kill on Sedaten, and they're turning on to Ronnie as well. Blitz hook should be up soon, and it doesn't even matter. Double kill for Arjester. And the flash forward, Syndra, they're just picking on Chrono here. King Kabbalah comes over the wall. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Arjester's going to be getting a lot of money, but the Rift Herald's going to be popped mid. A ton of gold going into the pockets of Syndra here.
So, looking at this game, obviously a lot of action's been happening bottom 2v2, and red team is quite ahead. I'll hold up while this gank happens.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to come of it as Fish is looking, but with the Maokai there, going to be able to escape that. But 3 plates picked up here for Arjester after that exchange. Let's see how much gold he's sitting on. He's sitting on 1,900 gold, 5,700 for the game. He's well ahead of everybody else. So all eyes here on the bot lane for Jester.
So how this game is going to end up panning out, it's going to be who can carry harder, the top half of the map on blue team or the bot lane from red team. It's going to be pretty difficult to shut down that Tristana, I think, but with the amount of tools that blue team has, as I was kind of stating in the beginning, point and click CC from Maokai, the big grasping roots ult coming through, flash W from Renekton, Nico is a minion, is this, that, and the other thing. although she can survive, it's going to be kind of difficult. Meanwhile, Miko has soon to be the very bulky front line coming through. So there's a lot of damage from both teams, so it definitely could keep swinging either way.
Yeah, the
I
one
think
thing
there's going to be another fight when Dragon comes up very soon.
Arjester's going to look to face check here. Doesn't know that he's alone. I think if he knew, he would fight him here, and King Kabbalah maybe just be in trouble. The ult goes forward, but Bredicus is able to hook him back, and just maybe a little bit of a misstep. I don't know if there was a lack of communication there, but that is not the person you want to walk into. It was a bluff, and Arjester read it.
Took it. Maybe he was expecting the Kaisa ult to be in range or something.
Oh, another hook by Bredicus, and the knockup and the silence are going to be able to pick up Ronnie.
Oh, man. This is spiraling out of control from this bot lane.
Darkness is in trouble here as Ajuka pops the Dominus, but he's going to be able to walk out of that, continuing to withstand that pressure. We saw Darkness get prior the first 3 levels, but since then, this lane has been all Ajuka. Bredicus does have... Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, so on the bright side for blue team, if you look at it, I'll wait during this game. It looks like he's out.
Yeah.
But bright side for blue team is top lane's up 40 CS, mid lane's up 30 CS. So even though the bot lane is losing super hard, the other lanes are keeping it. They're ahead, and so...
And that's the right Nico to hook, and Xerath is there from the long distance. They should be able to pick it there, and Arjus is just going to pick up another kill. I mean, this Blitzcrank...
Other than the first hook, he doesn't miss. Wow. Wow. It's hard to even, like, discuss what's going on in the game because there just keeps being action happening.
18 kills at 12 minutes. We're averaging over a kill a minute. The XD in chat from Arjester picking on his friend Sinja. A little bit of banter. Love to see it. These teams are very well familiar with one another, so... As they're competitive on the Rift, definitely some friendly rivalry going on. Second dragon being picked up for Tom Kench's line chefs.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Well, that is the...
Redicus is looking yet again.
Oh, can he hook through the Raptors? Here we go.
Maybe force a flash out here. Even Sinja being here, there's a lot of backup for Bredicus. Oh, actually, there's more backup here for InfernoWolves, and Brett is just going to fall. We'll see if Fish can get out. He is going to be able to get out, but maybe just a little bit of a misstep. Arjester wanted to back there to spend his gold, but he's feeling himself with these hooks.
Perhaps a little ambitious. You got to limit test now and again, you know?
Yeah, that being said, about 2,500 gold lead for Tom Kench's line cooks, chefs. A little bit
So,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you look at it, bot lane on red team has 100% KP, and Blitzcrank has about 90%. Meanwhile, top lane they're doing the Lord's work, and you got to remember, even though top lane, not much is happening here, oddly enough, even though Renekton's ahead, Shen, I feel, is going to have more impact throughout the game, because if he can just neutralize the Renekton, just as he's been doing, all he has to do is hit his R button on the Tristana when she gets engaged on, and she's never going to die.
Yeah, that was something I was going to point out. So Darkness has not ulted once this game. He's going to face check this bush. Should be able to just walk out of this one. There's a lot of CC, but he's pretty tanky with Fish coming in for the support. There's a lot of backup here, and the TP coming forward from Chrono. Darkness is going to fall, but I think InfernoWolves is going to lose out on this fight. Actually, Ajuka is just manhandling this fight, but here comes the Blitz hook crank under the tower. Able to escape, but Jester has arrived, and he is super fed. He's getting the resets on Tristana. He goes forward onto the Renekton. Blitz should have the knockup soon, or the hook. There's the ult by Chrono. And then our Jester ends up taking the kill with the Rift Herald spawning here. A huge play with Darkness being able to stall out that fight.
That's beautiful timing with the objective coming up as well, as you pointed out. I mean, them roaming up here at all is incredibly good, just because usually people are like, laning phase is still until around 15, 16 minutes. We're just going to hang out down here. But they already took the bot tower. They might as well go towards the top side to get this objective. It looks like they're not even going for the Rift Herald, at least right away. But Kane's coming up back top side. This top tower for sure is gone. Maokai's up here, but I don't think if they just walk at it right now, there's much that they can do. And there's a ping on it.
Yeah, no, great call there to say they didn't even need the Herald to take the top tower, so they might as well just take it straight up, and that Rift isn't going to go away anytime soon. Breticus is here, and I think this is just another dead Maokai. Anything that steps close to Arjester on this Tristana just dies.
That was a pretty big mistake. The Maokai knew that the bot lane was on the top half of the map. He knows that the only objective on the map is the Rift Herald. There's no reason to ever walk into that area because there's no way he has vision right now. And not even the scuttle's up. So there's quite literally nothing he could have been doing there. So that was just an incredibly greedy kind of seeing what they're doing play that didn't have to happen, but it leads to a lot of pressure in the mid lane from Rift.
Yeah, and they're going to pop this Rift, maybe look to get a second charge here. They have a Tristana, they have a Blitz. It's scary for Sinja to contest, but there's no wave, so they're going to back off. Looking to maybe rotate towards the top side, but with Dragon coming up in the minute, I'm assuming they're just going to back and spend and reposition for this sole point.
Has Kane gotten his form yet, or is he still sitting on base right now? He's just base. Right?
Yeah, he's just base right now. I wonder if that means he's going, or he may have got his Shadow Assassin form, and he's waiting those 3 minutes to get the Darken form.
That would make sense since most of his plays have been around bot and mid. They're all ranged, so he didn't have too many melee champs to hit outside of the Maokai.
I would assume he hits it here, but he's still coming out of base unformed, unless I'm missing something.
No, he's getting it right here. So
okay,
one of the
there it
things
is.
that Kane players do is they still get the home guard buff, and it resets when they change to their new forms. They run out to like the 2 Nexus turrets, and then they do it. So it's just a little more movement speed.
Yeah, a little bit of min-maxing there. I was not aware as jousting for positioning for this Dragon. And the Shen ult's just going to come out early. There's the Maokai ult for reaction. I think this chase is going to be stalled out with the Nico stun there. The decoy's going to scout out. Breticus could look over the wall. They have vision knowing he's here, but Maokai just steps up a little bit too far.
He didn't even have vision, but he doesn't miss.
And there it is. And in the backside, Sedaten is being taken down by Fish. As Breticus is low, Sinja's coming in. He's going to be able to take down Breticus, but he may be in an awkward position. There comes Ronnie World on the Kaisa. He's coming in, trying to make an impact, but the team does not die. Sinja is still here. They need to be careful. Health bars are really low, but he's going to get kited out. Darkness does not fall yet. The Dragon does not kill him, and Chrono's looking to kill him. The Dragon's going to be picked up by Fish. It looks like Sinja's going to be able to get out, but no more members of the line chefs fall either. Actually, Fish is looking. He wants Sinja here. He's not going to get juked out. He's going to dodge the stun. He does not have smite, so we'll see. And there's the Gore Drinker to get the damage. He's not going to be able to execute.
So, on top of everything else, I don't know if you saw, it was a super minimal thing that Just Darkness did right there at the Dragon. I just want to point it out. The Nico almost killed him, and he was at 1 HP. The Dragon shot him, and he used his W to block the last auto that would have killed him. So on top of everything, just a little bit of salt in the wound, just to make it hurt a little bit more for Sinja there, that he had potentially a quadra kill for himself.
So close. So close. Part of it was the fact that he had to use the ultimate early just to pick off Breticus, so he didn't have. That was the only member that he significantly hit to get down to lethal. As Breticus just continues, could throw out a blind hook here, tries, but Sedaten gets away in time. With the Baron spawning now, all focus is going to shift towards the top side of this map.
And they're immediately pinging towards it. They're starting to clear out vision, kind of, but never mind, I'm blatantly lying to you. They're not clearing out anything. They don't have an Oracle's Lens at all. But they are cheesing in a bush.
They don't see that the ward is there in that, is that the Pixel Brush in the river? Yeah. So a good bit of vision there from InfernoWolves, knowing that this is a bait. But here they go. They're going to start this up. They have a super fed Tristana. Should be able to burn this down quickly as Breticus is going to hold the line. We'll see if they turn off of this or they rush it. Looks like they're going to try to rush it down. The ult by Sinja comes in and hits 2 members. They're going to instantly be able to pick off Breticus, and the fight continues. Fish is there. Ajuka shuts down Arjester with the Tristana down. We'll see if this fight continues. It does. Fish is barely alive, and Just Darkness falls as well. Dayton's not going to be able to pick off. The Baron was kept aggro, so InfernoWolf is going to take away the Baron, and this is the turn that they needed to get back in the game, and instantly they're back ahead in gold. So a little bit of a misplay. What went wrong there for the line chefs?
Well, that was just the greediest Baron in the world. On top of the fact that the blue team Inferno had Renekton bot side with teleport up. They just started the Baron, so if blue team could have stalled them out, they didn't have to do anything. If Renekton just pushed, they would have had a net positive play there. As soon as they started the Baron, because they didn't clear out all vision, as you pointed out the Pixel Barrage ward that was there, Renekton was able to TP there. Baron, in case people don't know, when Baron hits you, it applies a debuff that reduces your magic resist and possibly your armor. I believe it just decreases your general resistances. So when you're tanking that right before a fight, it makes you easier to kill for the opponents.
Yeah.
So the fact that they blatantly did that just right in their face, despite their lead, is insane. And the fact that you look at the gold right now, blue team, despite being 7 kills down, 3 dragons, and I think 2 Rift Heralds, they're up on gold right now because of that throw. That possibly, genuinely, possibly cost red team the game if they can apply this pressure from Baron. That was just so greedy and completely unnecessary.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's going to be an adaptation they need to make the next times to turn off of that quicker, as they had the lead, but they did have the lead, so they still are not out of this game, but that's going to feel really bad for the next few minutes as the Baron push is there for InfernoWolves as top laners continue to joust here in the top lane, but Ajuka got a lot of money off that last fight, and he has his Shojin completed. We'll see if he's able to chase down Darkness. He's barely out of reach. It looks like Darkness is going to get away with the dragon spawning in a minute. All attention was top. Now it's all bot. TP is going to be down for Renekton, I believe, for this Drake, but the ultimate's going to be up as well as the TP for Darkness. So yeah, with that, Renekton's just going to come down back and join his team and walk to the dragon, as this is a very important Drake for InfernoWolves to pick up.
So with the Baron buff, the blue team is able to, with the minion waves, push them out preemptively so that they're able to get vision through the mid lane and through the bot lane, so they know that the enemy laners aren't there, so they would have to be walking through a choke. The fact that red team still has so many shutdowns on their members is kind of insane after that last fight, and if this goes awry, they're going to be down a lot more gold. Sinja is up really far.
Yeah, with the Blitzcrank, the flash forward, he instantly picks off the Senna, and Senna's going to get popped. Bredicus will fall as well. Sinja's going to get a massive ultimate, and in the back line, just massive damage from the Fed member of InfernoWolf. Sinja carries that fight. Ronnie World cleans it up with the ultimate and the Q. That was just, Darkness wasn't even able to get an ultimate off there. Just a little bit, getting greedy, picking off the Senna and diving in. I saw Arjester jump in, and that gave Sinja a perfect angle to ult him.
Wow. I thought that was such a big play from the red team there.
Flash forward by Ronnie. Going to be able to pick up Chrono here.
What? Whoa. Whoa. That was crazy. I don't know if the Shen ult was killed by the Renekton empowered W, and so it one-shot the shield, or if they just had enough damage to blow through it, but he wasn't able to be in that fight at all. And then, wow. So, as I was saying with those shutdowns, now blue team is about 3k in the lead.
Yeah, a lot of the early game was controlled by just the playmaking of Bredicus in the bot lane and the dominance they were able to perform, but it looks like just the mid-game macro is going towards InfernoWolves. We'll see if that's enough for them to continue to carry this game out. 3K isn't game ending, but it feels really bad with how far ahead they were before that Baron take.
Okay, so earlier I was going to ask, how do you think blue team comes back into this game? But at this point,
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
what do you think red team has to do to either maintain their lead or win the next team fight in general?
Yeah, I would say they have the pick comp, right? They have the Blitzcrank. They need to make sure that the Blitzcrank hook does not bait them into a bad fight. Even though it feels really good to pull a member in, Arjester needs to play a little bit more controlled in these fights, as he has an extremely high amount of their gold. So jumping in on Tristana, I think, is the main thing to address, and then the second thing is for Darkness to get an impact with his ultimate as well, give someone a shield. in those team fights, as he was not. I don't think he was in that fight in the last one at all, or maybe he ulted and the member died, but he
Yeah,
was stuck in the
that's what
top lane.
happened.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
he was up there and he ulted, and either it got one shot by Renekton, then the member died, or either
Oh,
way, the member died.
this
He
is a
wasn't able
good
to-
positioning by Fish and Bredicus. They're going to be able to pick King Kabbalah off here. This with the Baron spawning very soon. This is a good pick. See if they're able to capitalize it. Chrono's going to pop the ultimate. Sinja is here. He's going to get a massive pop blossom. That's not going to be enough damage. There's the Blitzik. It's going to land.
Behind.
Yeah, Renekton's on a massive flank here. A nice stun there by Chrono. Arjester's in trouble. He does get the reset on the bounce. He's able to free hit safely from the wall, but instantly Ajuka is able to get the stun, and Darkness is going to be the next one to fall. We'll see if Chrono and Brett can hold the base. The health bar is low for King Kabbalah, but the rest of InfernoWolves are healthy.
And Tristana bought a QSS, I assume, for the Renekton stun or for Maokai or something. Didn't even press it. Even they had a chance to maybe QSS and flash back over the wall to live there, but didn't have the reaction time or something. That was a good attempted pick, and then a far overcommitment with Kane flashing forward to try to get the kill on the phase rush Maokai. Even if they get the kill there, it is a nice pick, but I don't think it actually leads to much. And now, with that fight not going their way again, it's another Baron. They have the ability, they've got the two outer towers. I mean, both teams do, but both outer towers are up right now, meaning potential 600 gold each for one of those. So realistically, what the teams should do, Renekton should go to the top side because he has teleport and Dragon's the next objective on the map, and then they should do a 1-3-1, or technically it would be like a 3-1-1 or something, so that you can get those last two outer towers, pick up the last bit of scrap gold on the outside of the map, and then play towards the next objective, being the dragon, since it's still sole point for Red Team.
The hook goes wide from Bredicus, not going to be able to pick up Sedate, and he is going to stun up his teammates with multiple members. Maybe Bredicus should have sacrificed himself there. He's going to be able to flash out. The Maokai root's not going to kill anybody. Another Senna stun lands, as now all the prio goes over to InfernoWolves for another Drake. Bredicus is looking for a potential play here as Ajuka clears out, marks that flank. Fish gets really low here.
There, but
yeah, and you see now Darkness is backing, but the health bars are already way too low. I don't think they can contest this Drake. I would like to see InfernoWolves kind of push out these waves and prio that over the Drake, but it is kind of scary with it being soul point. They don't want that to get snuck out from under them.
I think that's actually exactly the point I was about to make. They still have a lot of waves. They've got Baron, so it's freely going to push for them no matter what. All they have to do is push them out, once again, get the vision control, clear out the vision around the dragon, not get hooked here, and then they're good to go. Looks like a potential pick on the Senna here.
Yeah, there's the combo you were talking about. Senna does end up living, and now Fish is in a precarious situation, and there's the Senna ultimate going to provide the shield. The shield's going to come forward, but a flash forward by Sinja's going to land a massive ultimate, and that is almost a team wipe there, as Chrono's going to be the next to fall. This tower's going to fall as well, and they're going to look to end the game here potentially. They have a little bit of a wave. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Just Darkness. He even ulted again, but not able to enter the fight. They just died too fast through the shield on everything.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the right thing to do. We'll see if they can push in here and end. They have one minion. If they continue to tank the wave, they can just take the base. As Darkness continues to push in the top wave, I don't think they know that they have the ability to do this, or they're just conceding it. And that's going to be game one over to InfernoWolves in this massive match between these two teams.
Wow. So, from crazy fights happening mid and bottom to bot lane going absolutely insane for the red team to a really big play, everything going the way of red team, into a throw at Baron, and then into a throw at Dragon, and it just steamrolled out of control. And kind of as I said, unfortunately for the red team, the blue team had an easier execution of their game plan, especially in team fights. And it just kind of became apparent when, after the first Baron throw, the next fight, it just seemed like the blue team was able to get everything that they wanted to do at all, and it all just kind of went their way. Wow.
Yeah,
Big game one.
for sure. That was a back and forth affair, like you said, early game going over to the Tom Kench's line chefs and the bot lane for sure. And then the mid game throw at the Baron. So we'll see what deviations these two teams are ready to make for the next game as we throw it to a break as we get the draft ready, and we'll join you guys back up for the draft.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling exaggerated.
Okie doke. Looks like we're
Alright.
getting into game 2 here in a minute for the draft.
Yeah. Something that I noted earlier in the previous game, I think that actually hindered TLC from getting ahead. So while they got a lot of kills early on our Jester, they were all on the Senna. So Senna wasn't actually worth that much. So while our Jester looked to have a lot of kills, the gold value actually was a lot lower because it was repeated kills on the same Senna.
Oh,
So-
I see what you mean. So her actual gold value was less.
Correct.
True.
Yeah.
Um,
So that is something to keep in mind. The essentially the kills were inflated, so to speak. The value looked higher.
True. I know it goes down significantly around death 5, and then 6, 7 are like 100 gold each. I remember watching the Baus FFS's guide on how to die a lot, so that is a good thing to note though. That although she was quite ahead, and she was absolutely insanely ahead, the more that the kills happened, it kind of mattered a little bit less and less for sure.
Most definitely. Oh, Gravesman again.
Oh, are you?
Copy.
Oh, I'm still. My bad. I was just watching the screen of the lobby doing nothing. All right. So it looks like what teams are same side. Nothing too crazy going on.
Yep. Interesting choice by TLC to stay on the same side.
I think it's good, personally. I think if there's not a contested pick, then red side is almost always better due to having last pick. And last pick is so important for, in my opinion, top lane and mid lane. Top lane especially, but I'm biased because I play top lane. So
Look at TLC respecting the Renekton and Maokai.
and the Maokai. The Maokai I think is a very good ban. Syndra immediately getting the Nico again. Feeling confident.
Clearly. I mean, he did really well on it.
Or maybe it's going to Sedation or a Juka or even
Very true.
King Kubal. You never know.
Very
Flex
true.
pick.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of Nico. You never know.
Yeah, unfortunate. So, let's see. Galio Hover at the moment. That is an interesting one.
And
I
locked
would-
in.
Oh, it's already locked in. Okay.
With the
Kindred as
Kindred to
well.
follow up.
That's a really good, a pretty solid, not necessarily really good, but a pretty solid starter jungle to pick. The only ones that are better would be like Jarvan, for example, or someone that's super basic. But Kindred is all around a good pick. Definitely leaves a lot open for the rest of the team to do.
Definitely.
So I'm not too...
I have seen Fish on Kindred, and it's surprisingly good. He
surprisingly good.
well, I say
Oh.
that because typically he doesn't play squishier people, I should say.
I see.
Kane, things like that, all end up tankier. I think Fish prefers those champions, but Kindred, obviously with the ultimate, is a big saver anyway. So
To be fair, you never know. It could be Kindred Taric bot lane. Would go
It's very-
crazy.
yep. Here comes the Aatrox top instead of the Renekton though for a Juka.
Ajuka's Aatrox is insane, by the way. In past games that I've watched him play, he pops off in probably at least 90% of them. So I'm looking forward to that pick. Usually he goes kind of bonkers. If the if Kindred plays towards his side of the map, it could be more problematic. And we've got just Darkness hover. Oh, locking in the Riven. God dang. Okay, it's gonna be a fist fight up top lane.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a brawl. I am curious to see. I'm not very familiar with King Kublai, but seeing the Lee Sin is an interesting choice, especially
I think
after
it's-
having seen the Kindred.
True. I think one of Kindred's biggest weaknesses initially in the game, although she does like to invade early, is the fact that she's not incredibly strong. And so if you can set her behind early in the game, it can make it so that she's quite weak and not necessarily useless, because her ultimate is always strong and having the ability to execute with your E is quite good as well. But it makes it a lot harder to do what you want if you have the blind monk currently kicking your head off. So
Yeah, let's see if the king will hold on to his ult for that Kindred, because
point.
I mean, one kick and the ultimate is done. So
True.
Yeah.
So based on this, we've got bot lanes for both teams left, possibly Galio support. But
Ooh,
it could
the
also be
Ashe.
lane. Ashe is a very popular pick. I'm actually surprised it wasn't picked first round.
Very,
But
very strong. Brendan here, matter of fact, is a big proponent of Ashe. Just slow and damage. Not even keeping the ultimate in mind, which across the map can just change a team fight. But the slows just passively are absolutely insane. And if you have her slowing and a Riven catching up, or even a Galio, and then it's more or less over, it's going to be an interesting pick.
I think the Galio is a really good first pick because it could be flexed mid or support. I don't know what these players play, but the fact that they're leaving mid/support last pick for a counter pick is really, really strong. I think they have a lot of wombo with Nico, Zyra, Misfortune ult, and a fair bit of pick with Lee Sin, Zyra, Roots, and then once again Nico as a whole. But
that being said, I will say it is an interesting choice, because literally if they wombo combo and there's a Kindred ultimate down, all of it won't be worth it. All of it will be wasted. So that Kindred can completely mess up the wombo combo.
And honestly, with this Seraphine pick, it still could be Galio mid or support. Don't know.
It's very true. I am confident that Seraphine will be bot, but I have been surprised before.
Okay, so looking at the teams, who do you think won draft here?
I'll be honest, that is very difficult. Simply because, as I said, InfernoWolf has a great wombo combo. If they catch 2 or 3 people, they can pop them instant. Absolutely great. However, if that includes a Kindred with an ultimate, that can completely negate the wombo combo. So as long as InfernoWolf pulls, or not pulls, but picks certain champions, they will hands down win this. And I would call their combo better. But that Kindred is just that what if factor, if you will.
The monkey wrench, yeah.
Because that can completely undo everything. A good ultimate from Kindred will... That's really scary. I don't know. And that's not forgetting that if Riven goes in, you have the stun. If Riven is in there, you got the Galio ult coming in. Or an Ashe ult coming in. That can stop the Misfortune ultimate. Things like that. So, honestly, very good draft from both teams, I would say. I do not know which team I would go for.
I agree. I think blue team has a lot more offense, and red team has offense but has more defense. I think it's kind of like a red team is a bit more mixed, a bit more balanced. Oh my goodness. Red team is more balanced, blue team has a little more aggression. The reason I say that is because Seraphine has the ability to use her E to root. She has her ult to charm. Ashe has her slows, has her ult. Riven CC, Galio CC and taunt. Kindred ult. Meanwhile, blue team has Nico ult for engage, or I guess technically you can use it to disengage. You got Zyra knockup. So I think if there's a big combo on the red team, as you kind of stated, Kindred has the ability to ult, Galio has the ability to ult a teammate and save them, Seraphine can disengage, heal, peel away. I think TLC is a bit more tame, and I think Blue Team has a lot more potential in general. Something else to note is that Nico ults a knockup, Aatrox Q is a knockup, his pullback is technically, I guess, a knockup or a displacement. Zyra ultimate is a knockup. So Tenacity isn't going to be super crazy for them. Sure, there's still Grasping Roots and Nico's, what is it, Pop Blossom? No, not Pop Blossom, but whatever her E is, the root as well.
All right. So Pantagod, who do you predict will win this
good
one?
point. Good point.
Anyone? I again, very tough draft. I'm gonna be going for TLC personally. I am
Let us do
believing in
game
the
three.
Kindred. Yep. I want a game 3. So that's my prediction right now.
Based on what I've watched of InfernoWolves, they have really good team synergy with each other. Not necessarily the champions all the time, but like just the players as a whole. They always kind of surprise me, and the fact that they were even behind game 1 was kind of shocking. But then they pulled it back. So not to detract from TLC at all, they have exceptional gameplay as well on their end. I've just seen more of InfernoWolves, so I'm going to be biased towards them.
Yeah, with
I'm
that
gonna-
being said, let's go ahead, throw it to the hype video, take a little bit of a break, and we will see you guys on Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of InfernoWolf eSports versus Tom Kench's Line Chefs. Alright, all the summoners are loading onto the Rift here for Game 2. Like I said, of InfernoWolf eSports versus Tom Kench's Line Chefs. We have the teams on the same side here. InfernoWolf winning the first game. Mentioned it last game, I'll mention again, a lot on the line here. As playoff seeding, and playoff eligibility is on the line for these two teams. We'll see if Tom Kench's Line Chefs can bring it back.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So, one, it looks like both teams are doing a 5-point, so no more invade shenanigans here. That's pretty
30
big.
seconds until
Um,
minions spawn.
I think looking at the teams, as we said, they're very neutral, and that is absolutely correct. Top lane, Aatrox and oh wait, there's already action going on.
Yeah, King Cabal is going to come in. He's going to get the ward down. Not much more going to come of that other than some damage down. Yeah,
That
they're
is
going to get the ward. Oh, he may be doing a late invade. But I don't think he's going to get anything off of that, actually. So, just harassing. Now everybody's going to go back to their own jungle, but a little bit more information going to be able to be picked up for InfernoWolf.
So, okay, looking at this, it's starting the same way as last game, kind of, where both junglers are starting topside. Seeing the volatility of this top lane, I am shocked neither player is going up there unless there's some cheeky level 2 or 3 camp to top lane thing going on here. I doubt it, but just the fact that top lane Riven versus Aatrox. Riven has, in my opinion, has the advantage in this lane, especially early. She's a lot stronger. Aatrox sucks at pushing early, but he has the slight ranged advantage. So it is definitely a skill matchup. Meanwhile, blasting going on in bot lane.
Yeah, good chunk with the first strike damage on Misfortune being traded onto Bredicus there. They get a little bit damage back to Ronnie, but not enough. Definitely the level 1 trade is going to go in the favor of InfernoWolf, and they're going to get some prio off of it. Another good trade there from Sinja in the mid lane. So the laning, just the isolation laning for these two teams continues to heavily go in favor of Inferno. The root for Zyra is going to barely miss there as this wave gets crashed in. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think something that does have to happen from Fish is, as you said, Sinja is really, really good at getting his damage off, punishing his laner, just having control. I think it would be really important for him to hover around Chronomist at least early game, but it looks like he is doing a cheeky 3 camp to top lane after being warded on. So top lane might be having some action go down along with bot lane.
Yeah, we'll see if Darkness can properly bait this in as Ajuka goes in for a trade, but he's not falling for the bait. He's not overcommitting. So I don't think Fish is going to get much here. He's going to spend a lot of time, though. He's going to channel the recall. So tempo going to go over to King Kabali. Meanwhile, Darkness really also isn't able to get this wave completely in, even with the hovering jungler.
Something else we didn't mention was actually the kindred marks. If Tom Kench's line chefs will actually, protect the marks, or if InfernoWolves are able to take those marks away from kindred.
Unfortunately, speaking of which, kindred was on the top side and did end up wasting a lot of time top. The wave state wasn't good enough for them to try and go up there, and the marks spawned on the top half of the map, so wasn't able to pick that up either for the first one. Meanwhile, getting double scuttled by the Lee Sin, who ended up skipping his Krugs for it.
Yeah. Covering both of those marks is going to feel really good for King Kabali. We'll see what he can do with that lead. He's going to need to get a lot done in this early game on the Lee Sin. I wasn't here to see how much you talked about this early pressure for the Lee Sin and how much pressure is on him. A nice stun for Bredicus there. He's going to get a good chunk down on Sedaten with Fish hovering, and they had vision there, so they're going to know Kindred is down.
I will say the fact that Lee Sin is going down to Krugs here is really confusing.
The roam down by Chronomus as well. There's 4 members coming down here. They don't know Chrono's in the area. They know he's missing. Fish going to be the first to fall. Flash wave from Sedaten, so instantly going to be bursted down by the Zyra, but they could follow up further here. Like I said, they don't know Chrono's here, but Chrono's just too far behind this fight as they go on Bredicus. Bredicus is not going to fall. There, Galio follows up. He has the taunt here. King Kabbalah is going to fall as well. The kill's going to go over to Argester, which we know is a great member to have it on. Argester going to try to continue to carry this trade out. But a good counter kill there, going on the right member for the line chefs.
And while Sinja's walking down to potentially dive his bot lane tower, he looks like he ends up going in for some poke, just trying to keep him from recalling.
Yeah, he's trying. Yep. And instantly, Argester is going to flash over the stun, and Chrono's going to go in. Chrono is alive. Argester is alive. They're chasing down Sinja. We'll see if Chrono can get the last hit, but he's on the wrong side of this. Sinja's going to be able to. Ronnie World actually picks up the kill. Chrononis is not going to be able to follow up. Ajuka pops the ultimate. He is ignited, but Fish is here, and the flash has not been used by Ajuka, so he can flash away from this, but Fish does have flash himself, and he does. He flashes forward and secures that kill. So even though Ajuka hits 6 first here, the jungle pressure is enough to turn that fight.
Wow, that was insane. Something I wanted to bring up is, as I was starting to say, King Kublai,
I keep saying
he was
Kublai.
pathing down bot side. He started top and path down. The fact that he went immediately for a bot lane gank, the only way that would have worked out is if he ended up getting a kill, which he did. He was there for a counter gank. My guess is he was going towards the dragon to try to get an early objective, but he went down bottom despite clearing top to bottom. So all of his camps, other than Krugs, should have been down, and that completely like screws with his tempo if he doesn't get the dragon. So the fact that it worked out for him is astounding,
Yeah.
but it potentially could have been a really big slowdown for the Lee Sin. But it, of course, action's happening everywhere, and he gets stuff for it. So.
Yeah, as the bot lane tries to push in this wave, Bredicus could potentially, they don't have vision here. Our Jester's doing a good job of keeping the members off of Bredicus here, and the minions are trading back damage, so no one's going to fall there. That does kind of make things fishier on this dragon, as their wave state was good for it, so it doesn't look like the Kenches are going to go for the dragon.
It looks like Lee Sin's on the top half of the map. Ajuka is currently setting up a slow push to the Riven. This is a really easy dive if he just slowly pushes up and Lee Sin walks up right now.
Yeah, and Ajuka
he
will...
might be a little bit slow, but...
Yeah, Ajuka's going to have the ult as well if they do decide to go on this. He's trading down the damage, and he's getting a good chunk. Darkness able to escape the chains. Let's see if he can get this wave cleared and get it out from under his tower. Doesn't look like King Kabbalah is going to come up immediately. He's actually going for a mid gank here. Doesn't have 6 yet. Chrono's going to go in, chooses the right Nico, gets the... But there's the ultimate from Sinja, but Chrono's pretty tanky, and Fish is here to match. Sinja doesn't have ultimate. He used it down there in the bot lane fight. He gets slowed up. There goes Chrono. There's the knockup, and that is a huge kill. A trade back. Not the Lamb's Rush that didn't come down in time. We'll see if King Kabbalah can get the trade back. Fish trying to sidestep. There's the kick back into the minions, and King Kabbalah is going to pick up a double kill in the mid lane.
So while I think that was a pretty big mistake from King Kublai not going for the top dive that would have completely shut down the Riven for the rest of the game, once again, he proves me wrong and absolutely makes a great play going mid that worked out in his favor, getting 2 kills mid despite Sinja dying, cleaning up, and then getting another one on the Riven anyway, right when the Rift Herald is also up on the map, so he can potentially transition to that objective. It's kind of all coming up Kublai right now.
Yeah, he's definitely... And there's the Misfortune ultimate layered on top of the Zyra, and Bredix is going to fall instantly. Ronnie hits 6 first, Sedaten hits 6 first, and they're able to use that immediately to their advantage.
So you can kind of see what's going on down here, where last game it was Bredicus blasting Sedation with the Blitzcrank hooks over and over last game, and this time they're absolutely just every single time you look bot lane, it's Bredicus getting chunked, getting hit, getting chunked. They're just relentlessly pissed at this guy getting all those Blitzcrank hooks last game.
Our Jester has
that being
access.
said,
Go ahead.
the mid lane, I was going to talk about how the Nico isn't paying off as well as it did in the last game so far.
True. It's still ahead on CS.
Our Jester may look for an ult here. Gonna go the sidestep by Sedaten, so they're not gonna find it. Chrono was hovering, so they were gonna look to go on that play. But with the missed Ash Arrow, it's not going to come to fruition. Darkness is gonna trade into the chains. Our Jester getting a lot of damage back. We got fights on both ends. The client doesn't know which one to give me. Darkness is gonna be the first to fall here. It doesn't look like anybody's gonna fall in the bot lane, as there's trading in the mid lane as well. Fights on all 3 fronts. Fish gets the blue smited away from him, but King Kabbalah might be in some danger as Chrono has access to the ultimate. We'll see what they choose to do here. Lamb's Respite is not up yet, so they may not want to look for a fight until Kindred has that ultimate ability.
They got 4 members down by the dragon. Something that you have to commend the Team InfernoWolf on is every single time there's an objective, they are there. Preemptively, 40 seconds before, getting wards up. If you look at the ward coverage around Dragon right now, you just see all the blue vision. I'll wait for this fight to,
And King Kabbalah is going to come in there and take the kill away from Sinja, as this Lee Sin 4-1-1 having great impact. There's the Rift, going to give Sinja some gold. If you tell me the hotkey, yeah, which hotkey?
Can you F1 real quick and just look at the blue vision around the Dragon? I just wanted to point out, see how much vision they have, all those ward coverage. Now hit F2 and look at what red team has. every single time, this is what an objective looks like for blue team. They're always preemptively setting up. Their team is always grouped around it, and that's where most of the fights happen.
Flash forward by Darkness, the Ignite goes down, but King Kabali, or Ajuk is just going to trade right back into that, pop the World Ender himself, and even through the Ignite, he's able to heal and take down Darkness.
Man, oh man. It's starting to get kind of out of control, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think Riven...
Oh no.
Ooh.
And
Good
there
fight.
is the Zyra ultimate into the Misfortune ultimate as they face tank that Vision. Even though they had the members, they just went a little bit preemptively. Now Fish is in a really bad position. As Sinja's here, Ronnie is here. We'll see if he can get out of this Ash Arrow coming in. It's not going to be enough. He's not even going to get the Lamb's Respite down before he falls. Yeah, a lot of Hail Marys being thrown out, and none of them are paying off as slowly InfernoWolves just continues to build up a massive lead.
We did talk about this during the Champ Select, was the wombo combos that existed on Team InfernoWolf. And the only counter that we did see was potentially the Kindred ultimate. So, but Kindred getting caught out by herself isn't very beneficial with the ultimate. So
Yeah, and if you look, there are, what does that make it? 4, 4, 8. There's almost 12 plates down if the bot lane can continue to get this plates. So InfernoWolves has a massive lead on plates alone. As Darkness is going to look to try to escape as he sees King Kabali by his tower. 2 levels down, it's just not going to be enough as we have a Pop Blossom in the mid lane as Fish is coming in looking to pick off Sinja. Flash away from Chrono as Arjester is being chased down. Bredicus is here, has the ultimate. I feel like they could have gone on that with the ultimates being down from the earlier fight. Chrono goes in, Fish is still here fighting back on the King Kabali, but King Kabali is going to be able to take that kill as well as live, and Ajuka takes down Fish. So 3 kills to 0 in favor of InfernoWolves again, as just barely Tom Kench just can't get anything going as the scoreline's 14-3.
So
none of these sins really paying off for them right now.
true. Looking at the state of the game right now, 14 to there's another fight.
Instantly, when the ultimate abilities are available, they pop those.
Okay, there's no one to potentially to die. I just going to get my one thought out, and then there's going to be another fight, I swear. So, looking at the state of the game at 16-3, I think the only way that Red Team can be back in the game, and there's a fight, is to slow down the tempo. Just try to get anything they can from the minions. Stop trying to force fights like this and just try to wait for Blue Team to make a mistake. Beautiful sniper match. I'm done.
Shutdown goes over to Fish. That's going to feel very worth. He's going to pop the Lamb's Respite, but he's not going to be able to get out of this one. So a shutdown does go to the 2 marksmen of Tom Kench's line chefs. I mean, even then it's a 10,000 gold difference, so I don't think it's going to be enough, but it's a start. As Chronomist is...
we saw last game.
Sinja's going to throw out that, and his damage right now with the level lead and the items is insane as Chrono just gets kicked over the wall straight into Sinja's arms. Chrono's trying to get out of this, the trade back from Arjester, but there's the Pop Blossom from Nico. It's not going to find anyone. We'll see if Arjester can find anything, but he gets hit by the Sonic Strike, I think is the ability name. Double King to King Kubali, and Chrono is going to be the next to fall as he's cut off in every way. Darkness getting pushed in at the top side. He's been level 8 for a very long time. The trade's not going to go back. The Conqueror, or the Triumph's going to keep him alive.
It's just a lot of hemorrhaging going on over and over. It's every time you look, they're fighting. Every time you look, they're, I mean, unfortunately dying. I don't think there's a lot that they can do, but as we know, people who are really ahead do tend to get kind of cocky and potentially go for a Baron play like last game. So there always is hope. Although on the bright side of things,
as instantly Ronnie takes down Fish on his Raptors. I think there's a lot of mental game going into what's being played out in front of us right now.
I was going to say, with all the bounties, there is potential for them to get gold back in their pockets if they can just collect 1 or 2 of them. There is potential to come back into the game, but it is looking pretty difficult.
Yeah.
That being said, with the bounties, one has to keep in mind objectives, right? Not just towers, which is what most people think of when they think of bounty gold, but getting those dragons, getting those heralds are very important.
Dayton may
just
be
for
caught
the-
out here, but I mean, they just
but-
don't know. Like you said, their vision here is nothing. They have no idea who is in that jungle behind him. So the buff play or the bluff pays off this time.
Yeah. But yes, objectives, and not just the immediate gold that they would earn from it, but the long-term effects that a herald and that dragons can provide. They need to set up vision, prepare for those objectives, and then as a team, take them. Yeah, that's the only way they're going to come back into this.
Darkness is gonna be caught out here again in the top lane. He has reinforcements. We'll see if this is the fight that Tom Kench can pick up some bounties. There's the Ash Arrow. It falls, but Bredicus is in a bad situation. Fish is going to be the next to fall as King Kabli goes under the tower, and there's the taunt by Chrono, but it's not going to be enough. The damage is just too strong. There's the Lamb's Respite. We'll see if the tower can do some work as Sinja comes under the tower, but there's the stun into the Misfortune, and it's just not going to be enough, as there's going to be some major damage done to the base here with the Rift Herald being dropped. They're going to look for an inhibitor here as our Jester in the mid lane is going to fall to the support with the Ignite, with the Zyra ult. He's going to die. Oh, no, he's
So
not.
I will say one thing here. Oh man, he's going in real hard.
They're
If
going to
they
look to
can't-
end this game. They still have the second Rift Herald charge. They have a wave here. They have all 5 members available. This could be one of the quickest games in /all history, but they may get pushed
Hello?
out of the base here.
Rift Herald bug? Didn't
Yeah,
get
that was
damage on
weird.
the second turret.
Yeah.
So, honestly, okay, this is gonna sound insane, but this isn't the worst thing in the world for Tom Kench's line chefs. Because if they aren't able to continually pressure that side of the map or the rest of the map, which, I mean, obviously they have been pressuring the whole thing the whole time, but if they aren't able to end the game while this inhibitor's down, every single super minion that comes through there is 90 gold. They're going to get permanently going to have waves at their base, and they're able to get consistent gold for the next, I don't know, 2.5 minutes or however long inhibitors are down for. I really should know that. So if they can get that on their carry or someone that's important for their team to win, like I would say the Kindred, but it's difficult to warrant that, like the Asher or the Riven, I guess, they can get a lot of gold back if they can't make anything of getting this inhibitor. They did get a full Nexus
and
power,
that was a
they-
Nico the entire time. A massive ult by Sinja is going to pick off 2 members as Chrono will be the next to fall. There's the ultimate by Ronnie World. The Sonic wave is going to land for King Kabli, and there's a top wave crashing in. Darkness
never
is
mind.
the last person to stand, and this last tower is going to fall. Darkness just stares as the entire members. There's the flash, the insect from King Kabli. He has shown some great proficiency on this Lee Sin. 10-1-9 just across the board, all members. And that's a pre-20 win for InfernoWolves as they're going to pick up this series, and they're going to pick up that last playoff spot. They're going to move to 2-4, I believe. Yeah, and Tom Kench's line shifts is going to drop to 1-5. Yeah, so walk me through some of those things to end the game. I know it wasn't much.
Oh my lord. So I want to point out the objective and vision control. That was where I feel they really lost it overall. But what I really want to get into is that Lee Sin. King Kublai was not this good in the previous game. I'm just going to say it flat out. I don't know if it was the Maokai or what, but he looked really good on this Lee Sin. Holy.
True. He was enabled by all of his laners. He made, in my opinion, some questionable decisions on his pathing and where to go, but every single time that he had made one of those decisions, it paid off for him in dividends. He got a kill here, he got assists here, he got a double kill. Sure, he may have skipped a camp or something on the opposite side where he usually should have been, but every time he did something, it worked for his lane. He got more pressure. He was near objectives when he needed to be. He did everything, I think, pretty darn good. Very right. He was very ahead this game and just kind of steamrolled it out of control. All of his laners were winning, so it's pretty nice on that aspect of the thing. Just want to point out that there's team synergy where all of blue team only died one time.
Correct. And if you look, he hovered top and mid for the most part. He had that initial bot lane encounter, but beyond that, he hung around mid and top and knew that Ronnie would handle the bottom.
Yeah,
Well
with
done.
that being said, Sinja's joined us here for the interview, the post-game interview. Sinja, the Nico one trick. How's it feel, Sinja, to get that win?
It feels pretty good, you know.
Taking down a lot of your friends. I know that there's connections throughout the two teams here.
Yeah, like it feels good knowing that I'm gonna have to go to my friend group's call and get flamed by all of them. But
Big.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess walk us through the first game. So you guys had quite a big deficit in the first game. It all turned around at the Baron. Walk me through that play, what you guys saw, and the call to go over to the Baron.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember anything. I was just listening to my jungler.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That being said, a huge difference first game to second game. King Kublai, is that how you say it?
Oh. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. King Kublai. Big difference first game to the second game. First game on the Maokai getting cut out a few times. And then the second game on the Lee Sin, just start to finish. It seemed like plays were just coming to him, but credit for him for capitalizing on them. Does he play a lot of Lee Sin? That's a very
No.
aggressive pick.
He hasn't played it in a really long time. We were
Just like riding
looking
the
at
bike,
draft.
baby.
We were like just looking at the draft, and he was like, "I don't know what to play." And then someone was like, "Lee Sin," and he's like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah, the bounce back for the bot lane as well. The first game getting picked on quite a bit, and then doing the picking in the second game. Any adaptations in the draft for that?
Well, we didn't really have to adapt. We actually we knew that they wouldn't do it again because of their draft. Like
So-
when they picked like Kindred Galio, we're like, okay, they're going like an enchanter support 1000%.
Okay. Now, question. You picked the Nico off bat in that second draft.
Yeah.
The confidence.
My jungler's been forcing me to play the champion.
Okay. So is that?
Oh.
Did you not have a worry about them counter picking anything, or?
No, Nico's broken.
That's fair.
All right. So the Galio that you saw come afterwards was not a concern for you.
Not really.
Okay.
It was like, in my mind, it's like, okay, Xerath's really long range. If I can win that lane, I should be able to beat any melee.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting
Melees
choice.
are easier to punish than ranged, so.
All right, last
Now-
question before we wrap things up. So headed into the playoffs, your team, you guys are scaling. You're coming up, looking to make a lower division run. So you have some familiarity with that. So what should we expect?
I'm actually just gonna make a Cinderella run every season, but this time I'm actually gonna win.
Yeah, last
Those are the
season.
rules.
Yeah, last season coming in as the 4th seed, making it to the finals. So looking to do it again this season. Excited to see what the playoffs hold.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, sir.
I can't wait to beat that TSI team. They seem kind of bad.
You've already beat him once. All right, with that, we're gonna close it out. Slash All League, thanks for joining. So a few cool things that we got going on. So this is the last streamed upper division match for week 6, and then we have the last week of the regular season next week before we hop into the playoffs. I was joined tonight by Nefairs and Sid on the casting, so shout out to the production crew that we can bring this to you guys. So we will see you guys on the next stream.
Nuisance.